You're watching Man Coverage with Nate Schmidt and James Bonneville on National Streaming Sports.
Good morning, everyone. This is Man Coverage. This is Knoxville Nate. This is James Bonneville. This is college football week number 4. We are coming to you live on a Sunday, September 21st, 2025, talking all things college football from the weekend that was. James, how the hell are you?
Once again, every week is so much fun. Holy crap. I mean, if you would have told me going into the week it was going to turn into this, I would have said you're crazy. But once again, what do you do?
Yeah, man, it was a fun day of watching games. I got a chance to actually relax and had some things to do in the morning, but then got to watch a bunch of football throughout the day, and it was enjoyable to say the least. And I guess we just have to start, where most attention is at. And that would be down in Clemson, South Carolina. That was, if you're at the top, people want to take you down. And, Clemson has been near the top or at the top for a long time. And right now things are not going well. Yesterday was a shit show, to say the least. They moved the ball. They had a lot of yards. They just couldn't really score points. And then in the first half, their defense got gashed. James, I guess my question to you and what I want to get your thoughts on is why is Clemson so bad? Why can they just not put it together? Is it coaching? Is it personnel? Is it scheme? What do you think their problem is?
Well, I mean, you look back at Dabo's strong years, and there were always bellwethers on their team. I mean, you look at quarterback play from Taj Boyd to Deshaun Watson to Kelly Bryant to Trevor Watson. I mean, you had really, really good quarterbacks. And then DJU came around, who honestly, if you'd have told me on the front side and named those 5 people coming out of high school who I thought was going to be the best, I would have said DJU. Like it was for real what he looked like coming out of high school. And that guy looked like a freaking mess once he literally got handled the reins. Like the pressure got to him. And you look at Cade Klubnik, you expect to get that, progression back to what you saw during those hot eras. He just doesn't seem like he has the it factor. And it not only that, but you look at the receiving core. I mean, heck, go through it. Sammy Watkins, T. Higgins. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Who in this receiving core scares you? There's not even a Hunter Renfrow. There's not even a tight end that scares you.
I mean, Wesco is probably their best tight end or their biggest threat, but there's no Sammy Watkins. There's no Martavius Bryant. There's no T. Higgins. I mean, there's nobody that can just like change the game. Now Wesco has made some plays. TJ Moore made some plays yesterday, but I don't know. I don't think that Klubnik is all that bad. We're saying he is now because of what's happening, but I don't think he's terrible. My thought is, for whatever reason, and you can blame personnel, you can blame coaches. I guess I'd have to watch the game a couple more times to really figure it out, but they're not putting it together. I mean, this is Dabo said, and Cade Klubnik said, they're not playing good defense and good offense at the same time. You know what I mean?
They're not. I mean, they're a very disjointed team. I mean, they've got a really good defensive line. They just don't have the depth they once did. But it's just they just don't look good together. Like There's no continuity, and I'm wondering what's going on in their locker room. I mean, it's just the talent level is just not there. It once was. I mean, granted, let's be honest though. There were some great coordinators on the offense and defensive side of the ball that were there during their heyday who are no longer there.
That's true, but I don't think that Tom Allen is some schmuck.
No, I
don't like everybody's trying to make him out to be. Everybody's like blaming this all on Tom Allen and you know, I guess he should take some of the blame, but Tom Allen has done some good things.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's just this team looks disjointed, and it's just there's no longer this fear factor of going into Death Valley.
Correct.
I mean, there were people at the beginning of the year who were trying to say Cade Klubnik was going to be the first pick in the draft. Honestly, looking at the quarterbacks, I kind of agreed with it because I did too.
I got to be honest. You know, I point out when I'm right. I need to point out when I'm wrong, I guess, because I did think that he would probably be the best quarterback in college football. Now, that's not coming from just me taking a stab at a guess.
Yeah.
He played well towards the end of the year last year. And then yesterday, it's not like he was horrible. He threw for 363 yards and 3 touchdowns. The problem is he wasn't as efficient.
Yeah.
He threw the ball way too many times. You know, he didn't complete a good percentage of his passes. That I guess is the biggest issue. And I can't figure out what's wrong with him.
Yeah.
I don't know. I definitely think he's pressing right now. Don't you think he's kind of trying to do too much because of where they are as a team?
They're hoping to win rather than knowing they can win.
Yes.
I mean, but let's be honest, you know, I think the LSU game, you know, let's be honest, you had 2 really good defenses. They didn't play that bad. But since then, I mean, they struggled with Troy, who's a solid group of 6 team. I mean, they're solid. But they haven't been able to freaking put it all together. I mean, the loss to Georgia Tech. Heck, when you knew as soon as the ball, it was tied and 2 minutes to go, you get the ball in Haynes King's hands, Georgia Tech was going to win. Like, I wasn't nervous at all. I just knew it was going to freaking happen.
Yeah.
And Syracuse, you know, if you don't get up on them early, you're in trouble. I mean, they can hang around. Fran Brown does more with less than a lot of coaches in college football today.
He does, and he needs to start getting credit because they don't have a ton of talent on that team. I'm not overly impressed with what they have, but he figures out a way to win ball games he shouldn't win, James. He really does.
Honestly, when he got that job, I mean, granted, great recruiter at Georgia. Absolutely phenomenal recruiter. But I'm like, it's a lot different recruiting at Georgia than it is Syracuse. And
a lot different.
What he has done in 2 years there is quite frankly remarkable. And, you know, there should be some teams maybe wanting to look at him in the offseason because
I agree with that.
I mean, is he going to be a top name? No, but I mean, there's certain schools that you win at. It's impressive. And winning at Syracuse right now in this day and age, I mean, there was a time where Syracuse was a power program. Those times have passed.
Yes.
And what he's doing there is really impressive.
I agree, and I do think somebody should take a look at him. I think that, winning up there is very difficult these days. Getting guys to come up there for football is difficult. They don't have the funding. They don't have the facilities. They don't have the, blue blood football power anymore. I mean, they did have some years, in the past, but I'm just talking about the last 25 years. Nobody thinks, oh, Syracuse, what a program. Nobody does, but he's able to get these guys. The reason I like him, the reason that I would potentially hire him is the way he gets these guys to play for him, the way he gets these guys to believe. Those guys, they came in thinking they were going to win, James. It wasn't like some fluke where they just, happened to get the lead and then sat on it or something. Those guys thought they were going to win from the opening kickoff, and they played as such throughout. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely. I mean, the funny part about it is, like, during the beginning of the year, you and I both said we thought it was a lock that Clemson was going to win the ACC. And the way they're playing now, I look at the rest of their schedule, and I think 6-6 is going to be tough.
Yeah, I did say that I thought they would win the ACC. They've won it 8 out of 10 years, so
Yeah.
throwing that assumption out there isn't idiotic. But I don't think they're going to win it now. They're in big trouble.
They need help.
They need big time help. I don't know where they're going to get it. They need to do something different. I listened to a ton of the post game shows of the local podcasters and the beat writers and all those people, and they all pretty much said the same thing, that something needs to change because what they're doing isn't working, and they need to change personnel. They need to change scheme. They need to change something, and they need to change it right now. And this guy is under fire right now, and everybody's taking their shots at him. I don't think he's too worried about it. He's not going to get fired. Everyone knows that. He knows that. But I see signs of desperation on his face. He's concerned, and I think he was. You could tell when they talked to him at halftime, he was super concerned about the effort coming out of his defense. They weren't even trying.
Yeah.
In that first half, and they were getting gashed. Syracuse isn't really a running football team, and they ran for 157 yards on them, and most of it was in the first half when they were gashing them. I think he's worried about that, James.
Especially with that defensive line, you got 2 defensive linemen with Woods and I'm forgetting the
Parker.
Yeah,
Parker.
They're going to be first-round draft picks. That should not be happening. Like when you're getting gashed like that by Syracuse. It's not like Syracuse has this unbelievably imposing offensive line.
Yeah, and Parker played pretty well. Woods was okay, but neither of them really jumped out on tape to me as far as dominating the game. Really Jaheim Lawson and Will Helt were the 2 guys that stood out to me that gave constant effort and were disruptive at times. Those other guys, to me, made tackles and had production, but they weren't standing out to me on the tape, and they weren't disrupting what Syracuse was trying to do, in my opinion. I don't know if you agree with that.
I do. The one thing that, from a Syracuse standpoint, great win going into Death Valley and winning. But seeing Steve Angeli go down with that injury, have they come out and said what that injury is yet at all or not?
No, but I couldn't tell if it was an Achilles. I thought it looked like an Achilles injury just based on the way that he fell. It was all non-contact. No one was even near him. But it could have been an ACL. But I'm pretty sure he's going to be done for the foreseeable future. And they're going to have to lean on their boy Ricky Collins. And, he actually came in and did pretty well. This is a dude that I think he wasn't he on LSU?
I believe.
Yeah.
So.
He's from the Big Red Stick in Baton Rouge, and he played 2023 and 2024 with LSU. So it's not like this guy sucks. LSU doesn't recruit you if you suck, bro. So I think he's got some talent. A little bit, but do I think he's better than Steve Angeli? I do not, and this could be bad for a team that played really well yesterday moving forward.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens, but I do not think that Clemson's going to win out. I haven't seen anything to lead me to believe that they are going to win out. Do you?
Honest to God, there are red flag games on their schedule left and right. They still have Florida State. They still have Louisville. They have SMU. They've got Duke. They got South Carolina. They've got potholes all over the place. They got to play better football than they have. Some games their defense shows up. Some games their offense shows up. How about a game where both show up for once?
For 4 quarters, sometimes they've been having, somebody will show up for a half or somebody will show up for a quarter or something, but not the full game. Now, a team that, I was not as high on at the beginning of the year and, had questions about would be the Miami Hurricanes. However, the Hurricanes have something that they can hang their hat on. They can run the football.
Yeah.
And they can play defense. So it doesn't even really, I mean, I don't even talk about Carson Beck because it doesn't really matter what he does. He wasn't overly impressive yesterday, but it didn't matter. They can run the ball. I mean, they had two guys almost that ran for 100 yards. Shamar Brown is a bruiser. Mark Fletcher can run away from you and run over you. They had 3 touchdowns between those two guys. I mean, Carson Beck was only 17 of 30 for 160 yards and an interception, but it didn't matter one bit. Are the Canes back, James? Because they're starting to kind of look like they are. Now, I don't know if they're a top 3 team, top 5 team, but I think they're a top 10 team. What do you think?
I agree with that. I mean, what's funny is when you think of the Canes being back, you think of them from their passing game perspective. I mean, they've had some great running backs come through that system, but it's been their air attack that has made them who they are. Honestly, their air attack is just don't screw up. Carson Beck didn't play really that great of a game, but Mark Fletcher and Shamar Brown, I mean, if you don't know who Shamar Brown is, honestly, people, we got to start watching more FCS football because this kid was a talent last year at North Dakota State. I don't know how this kid went to Creighton Prep, escaped out of the state of Nebraska. I mean, I guarantee you Matt Rule is sitting there banging his head against the wall. Why didn't I recruit him? Because now between him and Fletcher, man, they're like battering rams. I mean, they were real. I mean, especially halfway through the third and the fourth quarter, Florida couldn't stop the running game.
No, they couldn't. And when they needed, a couple of yards, they were getting it. And there was times where they were just running it straight up the middle, and they were, getting first downs on first down because they were just running the hell over this defense. And this is what I'm talking about. The running backs, the defense, and then the offensive line. I mean, I don't know where they found this Markel Bell guy, but my God, that guy is a big man.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's 6'9". They list him at 350. There is no way. If that guy weighs 350, I weigh 150 because he is humongous. And, I like Brockermeyer. He had a couple penalties last night, but he's a good player. Their right tackle is also a phenomenal football player. They just have this line and they have this defense that they have not had in a long time, and that's why they've been able to play. I also think the Gators' offense is a mess.
It's a train wreck.
It's a mess.
Honest to God, I think DJ Lagway gets too much blame. I mean, I mean, he can't throw the ball to himself. It is just. I mean, the South Florida loss I'm now looking back on was more Florida just being brutal on offense. But you look at Miami's offensive line, tell me I'm wrong, but how does this not look like an identical fit to a majority of Big Ten offensive lines in the 90s, in the aughts, in the 2010s, that they're just massive. They're just mountains of human beings, and they're just rolling over people. I mean, heck, Barry Alvarez and Brett Bielema lived on that. Heck, Kirk Ferentz made a career of that.
Correct. I mean, that is what they remind me of. And it's just 3 yards in a cloud, or last night it was 9 yards in a cloud of dust.
Yeah.
They were doing things that Florida just couldn't stop. Now, Florida was down a couple of D linemen. As we know, it was very highly publicized. I don't think if those guys had been out there, it would have mattered, James. Do you?
They would have been tired too. I mean, honest to God, you look in that fourth quarter, that Florida defense looked gassed. I mean, I guarantee you on that flight home, every single one of them was asleep before they even took off. I mean, that was calling it a 26-7 game made it actually sound close.
It was not close. That was the thing. In the fourth quarter, it was 13-7. And I'm like, if the Gators pop a run here, they could be winning 14-13. And I'm like, This game has been dominated by the Canes. And now, granted, part of that was it was pouring down rain for the most of the game. And so the passing game just wasn't going to be what you'd hoped. But it just was weird to me. And I think this could be a problem with them moving forward. They were dominating the Gators, and the Gators were one play away from taking the lead, and that should concern the Canes a little bit, don't you think?
Yeah, but I really like that Canes defense. I mean, honest to God,
too.
you've been high on Ruben Bain for some time.
I have.
I mean, man, he looked good.
He looks good every game, bro.
Holy,
he really does.
Like, I love how bendy he is coming off the edge. Like, honest to God, if you don't have good hips against him as a tackle, as a guard, man, you are in trouble because he is so bendy coming off the line.
He really is. And for a guy that is that big and that thick, to be able to have that kind of bend and have that lean coming after the pass rusher, coming after the quarterback as a pass rusher, that to me is something you do not see every day. And, I think the secondary is pretty good as well. I like this. I like this defense, and I like their offensive line right now. I mean, I don't know exactly where to put them. We'll talk about that as we get going. But I certainly think, they're earning their stripes here. And I'm seriously looking forward to seeing Miami play Florida State. I think that's going to be a heck of a ball game coming up, don't you?
Look at the rest of their schedule. If they beat Florida State, who can beat them on the rest of that schedule?
I don't know of anyone. That's what I'm kind of saying. If they can win that game, if Miami can beat Florida State, they've got a great shot of making the playoffs and having a pretty decent seed because they've already kind of busted through their gauntlet, so to speak.
Yeah.
Based on who they're playing.
You look at Louisville. I don't think Louisville will be able to handle that defensive line. The only team that could kind of match up with them on a line of scrimmage approach would be at Pitt. But what's Pitt going to look like at the end of the year? We don't know.
No, we really don't, and they don't scare me either. So that's good for Mario Cristobal moving forward. And now this guy, we've given him some heat for some of the things that he's done, especially running, handing the ball off when all they had to do was take a knee and fumbling it and losing the game. But if you look back at what he did at Oregon, and then, what he's got going on now. And honestly, if you include last year, I know there was some couple games that got away from him. But if you put together the things he did at Oregon, what he's done as an assistant, what they look like this year, I think we've got to start giving him some credit for the way that he's built this team and the way that he's got them, the direction that he has them going, right?
The identity of this team looks more like what he wants. Like,
right.
Honest to God, you look back at, really early Larry Coker versus today, they weren't known for having a good offensive line. And this offensive line is tough. It's a barroom brawl type of offensive line. So I'm impressed with what I see. And I'm not a Miami guy by any stretch of the imagination. I was wondering if he'd get fired this year.
Yeah. I didn't think it would. I didn't think it would look good, but so far so good for Miami. Another team that came out yesterday. I've got to be brutally honest on this one. I thought this was going to be a close game. I thought that Indiana and Illinois would play a, rock'em sock'em Big Ten, 3-point, 6-point game type of thing. It was nothing close to that, James. The Curt Cignetti and the boys came out and just dominated in Illinois from the beginning to the end. This was not even a ball game. Fernando Mendoza might be the best player to come out of the portal. I think, we'll talk about some other guys that might like that title and Mateer. But Mendoza is just one of the best players that was in the portal. He's proving to be potentially the best player to come out of the portal. And he just happens to be a quarterback throwing 5 touchdowns. This reminded me, honestly, of the Indiana-Nebraska game from last year.
Yeah.
That Indiana won 56-7. That's what this game reminded me of. How did Illinois look so bad, James? And what happened yesterday? Bloomington.
We've been talking so much about Indiana's offense in the past few years. Cignetti has always been, had that high-profile offense. Illinois only had 161 yards total offense on defense, 9 first downs, 9. That's it. They were 1 for 10 on third down. I mean, the Indiana's defense doesn't get near the credit they deserve from this game. I mean, it's impressive. I mean, Indiana won the time of possession 2-1 against a Brett Bielema football team. The Brett Bielema football teams always have a good defense. Great on the defensive line, and they always got some D-backs that can pick stuff off. They gave up 63.
I did not expect that.
I mean, honest to God, I mean, when you bring up Indiana and athletics, football is the last thing you think of. You think of their basketball program. And now, man, suddenly Saturdays in the fall mean a lot more in Bloomington than I ever thought they ever would.
Me too. And as I told you, I've got a buddy who, shout out Chris Cobb, is a massive Indiana football fan. And he was at the game yesterday, and he pretty much said it, that that was the loudest he's ever heard Memorial Stadium. He said that was the most people he's ever seen there. This is a thing. This is a culture that Cignetti has built over the last 2 years. And these people now believe and expect to win. And that was a huge win. I think you have to put Indiana in the top 10 after that. Can they leave? Can somebody leave them out?
How do you not? I mean, honest to God, how do you not put them in the top 10? Now, you look at their schedule on the way out. I mean, they got to play Iowa next week. Yeah, next week at Iowa, which is never an easy place to play. But honestly, I have a hard time seeing Iowa win this game. I think Indiana's going to beat them, just personnel-wise. Iowa just doesn't look as good defensively, especially in the defensive backfield. Now, at Oregon after that, man, that's going to be interesting. I mean, who would ever thought Oregon, Indiana would be the football game people would be most looking forward to watching?
Well, let me tell you, I think that could be a game. I understand Oregon has looked good. I understand they've been blowing people out, but who have they been blowing out? Yeah. Who the hell have they been playing, James? I don't really know. I mean, I think they're a good football team. I'm not saying that they're not good, but I'm saying who have they played? Who has Oregon beat that shows me that they can compete with the top teams in the country? I mean, certainly I think they probably can because they looked good last year. They've got some talented players. But I mean, give me their signature win this year.
I mean, what would you say? At Northwestern or at home against Montana State? Because it sure as hell ain't Okie State or Oregon State.
No.
I mean, we're gonna find out how good Oregon's gonna be this week going into Happy Valley.
Yeah.
I mean, that the whiteout game is gonna be intense. Granted, personnel wise, man, Oregon's good. Dante Moore is a talent.
He's looked good so far, man. I want to see him do it in Happy Valley before I'm ready to, take flowers to his dorm room.
Yeah.
Because I want to see him do it against somebody good, some team with a pulse. Because so far they've played a bunch of crap, and that's just being honest. I'm not saying that their schedule's not tough this year. I'm just saying so far they haven't played anybody. So I want to see what they look like in Happy Valley. I do. Want to see that game against Indiana. I'm very interested to see what that game against Indiana looks like because I think those are two teams that can score points at a pretty high clip, and it'll be interesting to see what that Indiana defense looks like taking on or an Oregon team. Let's take a step away here for just a moment. We are going to go and give you guys a little chance to get some money off here. Go to SeatGeek, get to the games, watch your team, support the Indiana Hoosiers like Chris Cobb did, and type in promo code NSS at SeatGeek.com. Get $20 off right now and get to the ball game.
Football season is here, and SeatGeek is my go-to for buying tickets. Now with SeatGeek, every single ticket is backed with their buyer guarantee. We've all had plans change, and when you can't make it to the big game, SeatGeek has you covered. They're the only ticketer that allows you to return your tickets ahead of the event for credit with SeatGeek swaps. So when things come up, I know that my tickets won't go to waste. So what are you waiting for? Download the SeatGeek app to maximize your possibilities and shop live events with confidence.
We are back, diving into a little bit about college football week number 4, the weekend that was. I think we'd be remiss if we didn't discuss what happened over at Oklahoma yesterday. Auburn comes into town. I've got to say I wasn't real high on Auburn coming into this game. However, watching Jackson Arnold and those wide receivers gave me some hope for Hugh Freeze and the Auburn Tigers and their ability to, win some football games this year. Those wide receivers are nasty. And I'm talking about Cam Coleman and I'm talking about Singleton. Those guys can win one-on-ones. Those guys can beat press coverage. They can take the top off of a defense. I really like those guys. I think Jackson Arnold, played pretty good football game, 21-32, 220 yards and a touchdown. He was not the reason that they lost. But really the story of this game, in my opinion, James, was the defense for Oklahoma. 10 sacks. Hell, I think they had 7 of them in the first half, if not more. This was a game that was dominated by Brent Venables and his defense, just coming after the quarterback and making Jackson Arnold uncomfortable. I think they could have scored more touchdowns if he had more time. What did you think about the defense in this game, and what do you think about what Brent Venables has done, finally putting something together on his side of the ball?
I would honestly say both defenses. Obviously Oklahoma's was better. Kip Lewis was going after it yesterday. 10 tackles, 3 solos, half a sack, 1 tackle for loss. Hell, Jaden Jackson, 5 tackles, 2.5 sacks. They were in the backfield quite a bit, putting a lot of pressure on Arnold because let's be honest, Arnold was their starting quarterback last year. So
yeah.
You don't think of Auburn, Oklahoma as being kind of a rivalry game. In essence, this was a rivalry game.
Yeah.
And it was interesting watching this come together. I had problems with Auburn when they were going to have one person calling the first down play and one person calling the second down play and one person calling the third down play. And they have to call timeout because no one knows how to call one on fourth. I was expecting them to be a complete and utter mess. Them being 3-1 right now shocks the absolute shit out of me. Now, their receiving core, Cam Coleman, the product out of Phoenix City, Alabama, everybody knew this kid was going to be legit. But Eric Singleton, the transfer came in and really did the work too as well. But this Oklahoma defense is for real. You could definitely tell Venables is pulling the strings because it has his fingerprints all over it.
He's bringing pressure from places that the opposition doesn't think the pressure's coming from. Another guy that really stepped up yesterday and played good was Mason Thomas. He had 2 sacks himself and was in the backfield a number of times besides those 2 opportunities and really stood out to me on tape. And if you think about it, under Hugh Freeze, I agree they look better, but if you look at the Hugh Freeze era in totality, Auburn is now 1-9 versus ranked opponents under Hugh Freeze. That's not good, James.
No,
that's a problem. And these are close games. These are 1-score games. A lot of them, Auburn's in it, but they're not figuring out a way to win. Does that concern you?
I don't think they've got the complete personnel yet to do it. That's the thing. They've got the receiving core. They're better at quarterback than they have been in the past. But, you got to week in, week out have to see it on the defensive side of the ball and an offensive line. They got to take the pressure off of freaking Jackson Arnold.
Yeah, that the offensive line was not up to snuff yesterday, and they got dominated from the get-go. The guys on Oklahoma were just whipping their ass all day long. And
it's not like they were sending 5-6 people. A lot of the times it was just, it was really looking at, I'm dating myself here, is when he was the DC at Oklahoma when they had Tommy Harris.
Yeah.
And they would just send 4 and go after it and leave 7 back. And, pick your poison. You're going to have to deal with one or the other.
Yeah, no one reminds me of him. That guy was a freaking man. of a man and was a dominator. So I don't know. He's one of the best defensive tackles I've ever seen. Him and Ndamukong Suh, obviously, if you're talking about that area. But those guys got after it yesterday, and that was a big win for them, I think, going forward. They beat Michigan.
Yeah.
They got a win. They're heading in the right direction. And then yesterday they could have easily – this team probably last year would have lost that game for sure. And so I think that was big for them to string some wins together against decent opponents, and will help them going forward, don't you think? And I like this quarterback.
Absolutely.
This dude can run it. He can throw it. He's a winner is what it looks like to me. And that's the difference between what they've had the last few years, don't you think?
Well, I mean, you look at him last week against Michigan. Was it 2 weeks ago when they played Michigan? He really did a lot more with his legs than his arm.
Yeah.
And this week it was more his arm. He only had 29 yards rushing completely. But yeah, I mean, their defense really stole the show yesterday. Especially, I mean, that safety was. I mean, I felt bad for Jackson Arnold after a while because it was just getting his ass kicked.
Yeah, I have a lot of respect for him considering he kept getting up. That to me tells me all I need to know about that guy. He went through a rough year last year. I don't think all of the problems that Oklahoma had on offense were his fault. He took the blame for them. He moved on, and he's a tough son of a gun because he got nailed yesterday all day long, and he just kept standing in there and trying to do whatever he could to win the game. So I give Jackson Arnold some serious credit for that. A guy that I do not give a whole lot of credit to is the quarterback for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. I mean, James, give me the signature win in the Dylan Raiola era at Nebraska. What game do you point to that Dylan Raiola proved that he's a stellar, high-level quarterback? Give it to me. What's the game?
Well, now you got me wanting to look because I can't think of one because, I mean, strangely, the last time Nebraska beat a top 25 team?
A long time ago. Yesterday was the 28th straight loss to ranked opponents, James. 28 straight losses to ranked opponents. That's embarrassing, James.
I mean, you have to go back to 2016 when they beat Oregon. Who was the coach in 2016?
At Nebraska?
Yeah.
I believe it was the guy from the defensive guy, Pelini?
Mike Riley.
Okay.
You have to go back to Mike freaking Riley since Nebraska beat a ranked team. But Nebraska's back. Don't forget Nebraska's back. I mean, his best win, well, jeez. That's a struggle.
Colorado. I would say Colorado last year is probably, his signature victory, and Colorado was not good.
Yeah,
but
Colorado.
Colorado. That's not impressive.
Then after that, what? Boston College in the bowl game where they basically just slipped it by? I mean,
how do you lose 28 straight times to ranked teams? How does that even happen when you're supposed to be a blue blood program that won multiple national championships? You can't beat a team ranked. Hell, some of the teams that are ranked in the top 25 shouldn't even be there. And you can't beat one in 28 straight times? That's a problem, James.
I mean, how many times have Big Ten coaches said Nebraska comes off the bus looking like Tarzan, but they play like Jane?
Yeah.
And it's not like this Michigan team is world beaters. And they threw up 30 points on these guys. I mean, Underwood had a great game. Not going to deny it.
Underwood?
Underwood played decent yesterday.
12 of 22 for 100 yards.
No,
touchdowns?
Sorry. I'm getting my weeks. I got my weeks mixed up. I'm sorry, Justice Haynes.
Justice Haynes. Yeah, Justice Haynes was the reason they won. 17 carries, 150 yards, and another 2 weeks in a row he's had a 75-yard touchdown. That, to me, they would not have won the game without him. I mean,
Yes.
that was the difference. That Michigan, their passing attack is pedestrian at best. And I know this kid is a freshman. I'm not going to judge him yet, just because he's doing this all for the first time. But their running game is the reason they won that game, and Nebraska knew it was coming and still could not stop it. I mean, Jordan Marshall had 6 carries for 80 yards as well. Not to mention Bryce Underwood ran for 60 yards. So, 9.4 yards per carry. That's embarrassing when you're playing at home against a team like Michigan. Now, they're going to run the ball, James.
Oh, it's Michigan. I mean, hell, even when Jim Harbaugh was there, hell, when anybody's there, they run the ball. It's freaking Michigan. Yeah, I got my weeks mixed up because it was the Central Michigan stats that were coming up in my head. But
yeah, he did look good then.
You look at the receiving core. I mean, who out there scares you? I mean, McCulley. I mean, McCulley's big. Wow, he's big. Samaj Morgan, he's fast, but you just got to lock him up on the line of scrimmage. I mean, you do press on him. If you stop, you put 8 guys in the box, Michigan should be very beatable because their defense, I mean, they lost a lot. You lose Johnson, Grant, and Graham. That's a huge loss to this defense, and they don't have the guys to supplant them.
No, they don't have the secondary. They
Yeah.
don't have the secondary that they had. They don't have the talent in the back end. They don't have the coverage ability. I mean, Dylan Raiola threw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. Of course, now one of them was the Hail Mary, which, you got to give him credit on that. But that was 52 yards, and that was one of his touchdowns. So if you take that away, the numbers don't look nearly as good. So we'll see. I don't think Nebraska is a good football team. Yesterday really kind of took the luster off of them for me, and I wasn't real high on them to begin with. But the best game of the day, in my opinion, was the Missouri-South Carolina game. I always think it's funny these two teams both play in Columbia. And so it's humorous when they play because you're like, oh, where are they playing this game at? It's in Columbia. I can guarantee you that. And in Columbia last night, Missouri is a team that I would not want to play right now. This kid from Penn State, the transfer, he's showing me something. I mean, is he the greatest quarterback in the world? No, but he can throw the ball. He can run the ball. He looks like a dude that Penn State probably should have hung on to. Talking about Bo Prabula, obviously, and then this Ahmad Hardy. 2 offers coming out of high school. Southern Miss was one of them, and he is one of the best running backs I've seen. I mean, look at this picture of him. His arms look like other people's legs, and he's just unstoppable yesterday. Sellers did played pretty well, honestly, but South Carolina could not run the ball, James. What the hell was going on? Is Mizzou's defense just that good, or why could South Carolina? I mean, at one point they just gave up on it. Why could they not run the ball at all?
Josiah Trotter. I mean, this kid's legit. 11 tackles, 5 solos. I mean, he was locking it down. This kid was a West Virginia transfer. Impressive. I mean, he had 93 total tackles last year as a freshman at West Virginia. This kid's impressive. You gotta like what he's doing. And quite frankly, we talked about it last week. Who in the SEC do you think is playing the best football right now? I said Missouri, and they're ranked 23rd. How are they ranked behind Auburn?
I don't know, especially after last night. I mean, I think you have to adjust what you think about this football team. They have some talent on the outside as well. Marquise Johnson is a good player. I think Kevin Coleman didn't do a whole lot yesterday, but he's a talented young man. And then, the guy that really sticks out to me as well is this Zion Young, the defensive end. This dude is a monster. He can get after it. He had 2 tackles for loss yesterday, another sack. He's a disruptor for sure. So you're talking about a nasty linebacker, a sweet-ass edge player, unstoppable running back, some pretty good wide receivers, a good signal caller who can run it and throw it. I mean, where's the weakness on this team, James?
I don't know. I mean, honestly, it's funny how year to year people really discount Missouri, but there is a lot of recruiting base in that St. Louis, East St. Louis area, as well as the Kansas City area. And what they get outside the state of Missouri is pretty darn good too as well. I mean, everybody discounts them, but holy crap. I mean, when you give up -9 yards rushing to South Carolina of all teams, who would have ever thought that going into this game or any South Carolina game?
Not me. And, if you think about it, this Missouri team is 25-4 over their last 29 games. That to me is quite impressive, and certainly, proves they're playing. Everybody talks about how good the SEC is. Well, Missouri's in it, and they are 24-5 over their last 29 games. I've got to start giving this coach the credit that he deserves because he's doing a hell of a job there in Columbia. And, South Carolina played pretty good last night. As I said, they could not run the ball to save their lives, but Lenore Sellers was impressive. He threw 2 tremendous touchdown passes, but I'm concerned about them not being able to run the football at all. I think that's going to be an issue with them moving forward. And now I believe they're 2-2 after 4 weeks, right, James?
Yeah.
Their schedule still has a couple whoppers on it as well. We are coming up kind of towards the end of this here, so I want to go ahead and get off of the game breakdown, and I want to talk a minute about some of the coaches that are potentially in trouble here after 4 weeks. Obviously, after 3 weeks, we already fired 2 guys. I think some other guys are on their way. The first one I want to talk about is in Florida. Billy Napier, he's got a losing record with the Gators, James. How much trouble do you think he's in? Their schedule does not get any easier. I think he's probably on his last year for sure. How long does he last?
I don't think he survives the year. I don't. I mean, granted, we said this last year when they had the hardest schedule in the country, and somehow they survived. I mean, they did well in the second half of the year, but I think they're going to pull the trigger, spend the 21.7, and fire him. And honestly, it wouldn't shock me if it happened sooner than later, so they can get ahead of the curve.
Yeah, I think they want to get out there and get their guy. But the problem is that this is becoming a trend.
Yeah.
With the Gators, they go out, they hire someone, they bring them in. The Gators aren't, the national champions, and they fire them. I mean, it seems to be like we're on a cycle here, like the Chicago Bears almost, where we're flipping the New York Jets, whatever you want to call it. We're flipping coaches every 3 to 4 years maximum. I mean, at some point, you got to say it may not be the coach. It might be our program. How much of this is, the coaches, and how much of this is just Florida kind of overvaluing their own program potentially?
Oh, I've said for years their boosters are insane. Like they automatically think like whoever they have as coach is Urban Meyer. And I'm sorry, yes. They have actually hired some stinkers. I mean, it's not like it's, unusual. I mean, it's not like it was yesterday Urban Meyer was coaching at Florida. They've had quite a few names come through that freaking turnstile at Ben Hill, and they're not doing it. I mean, now a name that I would consider, but I don't think he would be Pat Fitzgerald.
Yeah, I see him.
The boosters get their shit together.
I see him coming out. I see him getting a job, and I see him being the head coach somewhere next year. I do not see him being in Florida. I don't think that's a job he wants. He wants somewhere where he can be the coach there for long term. I mean, who's been the coach there long term since Urban Meyer left?
I mean, God, no one's been there more than 4 years. I can't.
That's my point. I mean, this guy, he's a program builder.
Yeah.
I just don't think. I think he could probably do a decent job there? Yeah, probably so. But I just don't see him, making that move. But maybe I'm wrong. Let's talk about two more guys that I've got that I think are going to be fired before the season is over. And the first one for me is Mike Gundy. I don't know what the hell's happened in Stillwater, but Oklahoma State is a joke. They're not even competitive, and I think he's going to get fired. They've renegotiated his buyout, and I think he's going to get fired before the season. And I know that the number is high with Luke Fickell, but how can you sit here and tell me that you like the direction of the Wisconsin program right now, James?
I don't know what they do, honestly. There are coaches out there that say they want the job, but Wisconsin doesn't like spending that kind of money. And the question is, if you fire him, who do you get? But after watching yesterday, I don't know how he survives. I mean, there was just too much radical change. And in the NIL era, Wisconsin's not the same program. And I mean, the names that are probably going to come up are going to be Dave Dornan or Chris Kleiman. And is that much better than Luke Fickell?
I don't know. I don't think so, really. But, based on what I've seen from him, I can't sit here and tell you that I like the direction of the program, and that I think that I can see, the light at the end of the tunnel for the Badgers. It doesn't look good
now.
And yesterday was embarrassing, getting thumped like that at Maryland. I mean, it wasn't even as close as the schedule.
Oh, God, it should have been worse. I mean, yeah. Wisconsin scored a touchdown in the last 2 minutes?
Yeah, it made it look a little better, but it was not that close. Who else do you think is looking rough?
Mike Gundy, Sam Pittman. I think both are going to have some serious questions to ask. I think Mike Gundy, I don't know who would want that job. I mean, they haven't gone through that many coaches in the last 30 years. And I mean, hell, granted, 20 of them were him. I don't know what they do. That is that's something they got to really think about, because it's not like they have this huge stockpile of former alumni there in the coaching tree. They still got that money from T-Boone, but I mean, it's they got to do so. After that loss to Tulsa, this program has now really hit some deep levels.
Tulsa had not beat Oklahoma State since 1951, James. Yeah. That's a long time, bro, and that's embarrassing. I think it's time for a change of scenery for Mike Gundy. I mean, I don't know if he coaches again or not, but I do think it's time for them to make a move and bring somebody else in there and see if they can do a better job. It seems like he's got a little complacent to me, because this team doesn't look motivated. The schemes look weak at best, and this team is a mess right now. What about which team to you is out there that really you think people are underrating, James? I want to know, who do you think should be maybe ranked and isn't, or who is not ranked high enough? I'm going to give you my team right now and tell you who I think should be ranked, and that's TCU. I don't think anyone's giving them the credit they deserve. I think they've got a good quarterback. I think their defense is good enough, and I think they've got a good running game, and they have a hell of a wide receiver in Eric McAllister, who set records yesterday with the amount of yards and touchdowns, and he almost had another one that he dropped where he could have scored more. So I like TCU. I mean, have they played the biggest teams in the country? No, but they've taken care of business, and I think they deserve to be ranked. What do you think of them, and who else do you got that you think is underrated?
I'm a huge Dykes fan, so you're not going to hear very much complaints from me. I would agree with you a lot. I think TCU. I think a lot of people downgraded them after the national championship year. The second year was kind of a flop. Granted, new quarterback, a lot of injuries. They just didn't look the same. Now they're playing a lot better, a lot more of what they really truly are. Honestly, I look at three teams that I think are undervalued, and one's Mizzou. We just talked about them. I think Mizzou is I look at the three best teams in the SEC right now, and people are going to probably give me crap for saying this. Mizzou, Oklahoma, and Vanderbilt.
Wow.
Vanderbilt looked great yesterday. Like, absolutely freaking great. And I can't believe I'm actually saying those words out loud. Top three, and Vanderbilt sitting there. Memphis. I mean, you look at it right now, whoever wins that American what Memphis coming from behind to beat Arkansas yesterday, not only took Sam Pittman out, but made Memphis possibly a bowl team. A college football playoff team. I think they're really undervalued. And then Texas Tech. What they did to Utah yesterday blew me away. Joey McGuire, holy crap. Like right now, I got to say Texas Tech is the best team in the Big 12.
They might be, and their quarterback got hurt yesterday.
Yeah.
And the backup came in and looked pretty good as well. So that's a testament to what they're doing out there. That was the worst loss in Utah in a long time. I can't remember the stat off the top of my head. I've remembered a bunch of them today, but I can't remember. But I believe that was the worst loss in over a decade, at home for Utah. And, it could have been worse. So, I do give Vanderbilt some credit. They lost, I believe, to that Georgia State team last year. And yesterday beat them 70-21. So I think this Vanderbilt team is even better potentially than the team they were last year. And they've got, a lot of the guys back. The question is, can they take out top end talent? Can they beat Alabama, LSU, Missouri, Texas, Auburn, Kentucky, and Tennessee, who they have to play in a row?
Correct.
That's going to be rough. We'll see how good they are after that. But I do think they're playing well now, and I will give them credit for what they've done. However, they've got a very, very difficult schedule.
They got a murderer's row unlike any other. But talent-wise, you got Pavia, you've got Stowers. They've got a good running game. They got a good passing game. They're solid on defense. What Clark Lee has done there is just absolutely freaking crazy.
Yeah, he has changed the culture. When he first got there, I think his goal was to, get these guys into campus, coach them up, try and make them better, get them graduate, become good fathers and sons and whatever. His goal now is to win, James. Yeah. And that is a big, big transition in Vanderbilt football, in my opinion. And that's not an easy task to do. Who was your player of the day for week number 4, James?
I got 2 of them. We talked about both of them just recently. Fernando Mendoza from Indiana. You go 21-23 for 267 and 5 freaking touchdowns against Illinois.
Yeah.
Name the last time that Brett Bielema gave up 5 passing touchdowns in a game. A Brett Bielema defense. I can't. Maybe
I can't either.
It's been so long. And then you got to go Diego Pavia. It's the week before they just took it to USC in South Carolina in Columbia. Next week, drop a 70 on Georgia State. I'm blown away by what they did yesterday.
Yeah, no, it was impressive. And I got the same one in Mendoza. As I said, so far he's been the best player out of the portal, and 5 touchdowns was extremely impressive yesterday. And then the other guy, I already talked about him, but I want to bring it up again, and that's Amon Hardy. 2 offers coming out of school.
Yeah.
Yesterday was his sixth straight 100-yard game, okay? That is a difficult thing to do, especially when you're playing in the SEC and you're playing teams that Missouri's playing. 6 straight 100-yard games, and it's not like he had 101 yesterday. This guy eclipsed that century mark by quite a bit. So very, very, very good day for him. And a lot of times they knew he was getting the ball. They knew what was coming. But we'll see what happens next week. We'll see if Illinois can bounce back against USC. They've got some soul searching to do after that ass kicking. I think LSU and Ole Miss is a game that I'm very interested in because I'm not sure exactly how good Ole Miss is. They have won 7 straight games by 30 points versus non-SEC opponents. You can say whatever you want to about that, but I think that's pretty impressive. So I want to see what they look like against LSU. Auburn, Texas A&M is a pretty good game. And then obviously Alabama and Georgia, and then Oregon, Penn State. So we got some bangers next week, James.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be interesting. Who have they announced where game day is going to be at yet?
I do not know, but they've got some choices here. You can go to you can go to Georgia, you can go to Happy Valley. I think either of those would be pretty good choices. But as I mentioned, that LSU Ole Miss game is another one that could be very interesting. I think Notre Dame playing Arkansas could also be a sneaky, potentially good game. I mean, Arkansas is going to have nothing to lose coming off their defeat against Memphis after they gave up that huge lead. So I want to see what that looks like as well.
Ohio State at Washington. I mean, Washington looked really good yesterday against Washington State. That offense is impressive.
And they are 3-0 coming into this ball game. So I think, we said in the preseason that we thought Washington would be a better football team. I think they certainly are. I think that Ohio State's got some things to clean up with their red zone last week against OU. So we'll see if they can do that, and we'll see what they look like. Could be a potential trap game for the Buckeyes heading out to Seattle. But really, really good slate of games next week. So I hope they're all, good matchups and fun to watch because there's definitely some good teams playing each other, and I'm looking forward to it. Thanks to everybody for tuning in today. Check us out on YouTube. Go to at Man Coverage 2075. Click on subscribe. Visit us on X at Man_coverage, and make sure to go and watch any of the shows that you missed, and tune back in with us next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. James, keep your chin up, and I will talk to you again real soon.
All right, man.